So this video is an experiment. I want to know if it's interesting. If you learned something, entertained in any way, please let me know.
Couple things I show, couple things I don't. I can tell you my problems, I can tell you my sins, I can tell you my problems. I'm uncomfortable in my skin, I'm uncomfortable with my ends, I'm uncomfortable with my friends, I'm uncomfortable with my drinking, I'm uncomfortable with my thinking, I'm uncomfortable with my ways, I'm uncomfortable in this space, I'm uncomfortable on good days, I'm uncomfortable on bad days, I'm uncomfortable with my soul, I'm uncomfortable with my heart, I'm uncomfortable with myself,
I typically make one of 3 breakfasts, with this yogurt bowl being the most frequently made breakfast. So this one is just like Fage 2% Greek yogurt with strawberries, blueberries, and granola. If I don't have strawberries or blueberries, I just try to find a berry. And yeah, that's like, I'd say I go to that breakfast most commonly because it gives me a good sense of protein, as well as I feel like the probiotics are really good for my gut. The other 2 breakfasts that I'll sometimes make, so one of them is eggs. I'll usually have eggs with toast, sometimes avocado. And then the last option is I'll sometimes do oatmeal. Similar to the Greek yogurt, I usually throw berries in the oatmeal if I have them. Oatmeal is really good for like, if it's the weekend and I'm planning to do like a long run, oatmeal tends to be pretty good. Just like the carbs will fuel me for a long period of time. But oatmeal has less protein. So this morning I did a pretty long run, so I feel like having some protein is good for me. All right, good morning. But typically I like to eat my breakfast down here and start my day downstairs, and then I'll go upstairs once I get into my day. My first meeting of the day is a daily stand-up with the engineering team. People go around and share updates and blockers with regards to the projects and stories and tasks that they're working on. I'll also sometimes use this morning time to check how many meetings that I have, plan out when my heads down focus time is going to be. I usually like to see what meetings have been added, removed, get caught up on Slack messages, things like that. So I'm actually going to finish my breakfast upstairs, get set up there, because we have like a backlog refinement session at 10:30 a.m. And so there's some things I want to do prior to that meeting. Okay, yeah. What I was gonna say is maybe what I can do as well is try to get ahead of I wanted to mention that this space that I'm in now, we just moved into about 3 weeks ago. And so there is a lot of things that we have yet to put away and to set up. And there's also a lot of things that we still needing to buy. Up here, we have really no light other than the built-in lights. And so working up here can just kind of get dark because there's no windows. We are very lucky to have this space. In every other place I've lived in New York, I've had my desk in my bedroom, like right next to my bed where I've slept. And so we got very lucky. I did switch, I don't know if this is super noticeable, but I switched to my glasses. I can't work at a computer with my contacts in because I start to feel a lot of eye strain over time. What's nice is that these glasses actually have a little bit of like blue light built in, or kind of like sensitivity to blue light built in, which is nice. The reason I wanted to mention my glasses is that I'm actually looking and have been wanting to get a new pair of glasses. These are Warby Parker glasses. I have been kind of wanting to get something that's more quality-wise is like the next step up. And I even went shopping a couple of times at different glass brands. And I just like really struggled to figure out what worked. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. Brands you've heard of or brands you like. Yeah. So it's actually my lunchtime now. So I'm going to pull out some leftovers that I cooked for dinner last night. I basically made a version of pad kaprao, which is like a Thai dish with holy Thai basil. And it's kind of just like a stir fry with minced chicken and vegetables, and it's really tasty. I didn't have all of the exact ingredients I wanted, so I did the best of what I have. While I'm heating up these leftovers, I also wanted to just do a quick explainer about what I do as a product manager. I've been in the product management domain or job family for about close to 5 years now. Currently, I work on a lot of internal tools. Prior to this, I've had some experience working on B2B products that are more externally facing. My very first product experience was working in like the mobile app space and like the web app space for a very small user population. So I guess I have some like B2C building direct consumer products experience as well. But now I work on internal products, and working internal products versus working on like external products, they each have their advantages and disadvantages. When I was working in the B2B space, it was around the years of 2021 to 2023. And a drawback of the external facing space is that a lot more of what you do has to fit what the market is looking for. And so in the years where I was working externally was when tech was not doing so well and people were trying to lower costs and lower spend on SaaS products. So we felt that pressure a lot when we were trying to build product. Even when you launch a feature, you try to do the best of what you can, but if the market's not doing well, I think it's like that has an impact and like a ripple effect. So now I get to work on internal products, which I think are a little bit less influenced by like market presence in some ways. In general, companies will always kind of need their own internal tools to operate and function. And so that's positive, as well as when it comes to actually talking to your end customers, like they tend to be your coworkers, or end users tend to be your coworkers. And so that can be really positive. However, the drawback of that is that if you've built something or if something that you own is not working, they will let you know right away. You'll get Slack messages. There's been times when I've gotten a large amount of Slack messages from end users and really deep, long-winded ways of how our product could get better. And I of course appreciate that, but there's also like the reality of the limitations that we have as a team. We don't have the resources to build every single thing in the world. And so most of the time we can only build a couple of things. So if someone has a list of 10 things, you can really only build like 2 of them. Anyways, what does a product manager do? I think a lot of what you do as a product manager in terms of what you're actually doing is you're in meetings, you're talking to people, and when you're not in meetings or talking to people, you're writing, researching, or communicating. And so I would say first and foremost, it's typically, at least in my experience, it's been a really communication heavy type of role. I think one of the hardest adjustments when you're starting as a product manager is that no one will tell you directly what you're supposed to do. So I started in consulting, and when you're in consulting, your client will tell you exactly what they want. But in product management, you're actually like, part of your role is determining what the prioritization of things should be, and then justifying that prioritization with impact and with results. So early on, and even now it's something I struggle with, sometimes there's 2 different paths you can take and they both look about the same, and you have to choose one of them. It's not even just 2, it's maybe like 5 different paths you could take. And you have to choose one to focus on and one to ignore. And that can be challenging to decide. Let's say you picked one pathway and not the other, and then it ends up being a really big mistake. Like you're the one that has to take ownership of that. So when you win as a product manager, it's the team that wins. But then when you lose or make a mistake as a product manager, it's on product management to own that mistake and then talk about what you can learn from it. So that part's kind of challenging. And then the other things I think are kind of challenging about it is you are stretched pretty thin. My experience, you're one of the people that talks to the most team functions. And so you kind of have the biggest bird's eye view of what's actually happening. However, the drawback of that is you don't tend to typically own things individually on your own. You typically have to collaborate when it comes to ownership. And then you're not as in the weeds expert on something as other people. So that can be challenging as well, depending on who you're working with. Voila. Yeah, I don't know. If you're interested, there's a lot more I could share about what I think PM being product management is, as well as I know some people are really interested in how how do you get into product? Like how do you land that first product manager job? So I was there as well. Like before I got into it, I was always trying to figure out like how do you even break in. If you want me to talk a little bit more about that or you have any questions, feel free to just like comment or let me know and I'm happy to. I'm also still pretty new to this like day in the life stuff, new to this YouTube stuff. So just feel free to comment any questions you have. I'm happy to answer them directly or happy to make a video. All right, it's getting close to the end of the workday here, and I typically like to try to get outside towards the end of the day. I like to have like a little bit of a separation between when I finish my workday and when my evening begins. I'm gonna actually go up to our roof area. This time of year, work is a little bit busy because we have some holidays coming up. Next week is Thanksgiving here in the US. So what I typically do right now is I actually booked a yoga class at my gym, but I was on the wait list. And so I don't know if I got in or not. I made a lot of helicopter noise. I'm gonna go try to see if I get into this yoga class. Anyways, I have been trying to do yoga more frequently, like once a week or once every 2 weeks, because I just like frequently have pain or I have tightness, especially in like my upper back and just other areas in my hip flexors. And as I've been running more, I think that I haven't been maintaining my muscle as much. So I feel like yoga is helpful, maintaining like muscle stability, if that makes sense. So I'm now walking back to the apartment. I am going to whip up a very quick dinner because I'm actually meeting friends for a movie and a little bit later tonight, so excited to do that. Okay. Yes, baby, yes, baby, yes, baby. We'll give you some food. I just got back from yoga and I don't have a ton of time. One of these, and I picked up one of these and I'll put that in. I think that'll make it a little bit fancier. And then on the side, I'm gonna saute some broccoli and that'll be dinner. That'll be my quick dinner. I think my audio might have gotten clipped when I was leaving the gym, but essentially what I was saying was that the yoga class I took was really hard. Also, like, I don't typically exercise 2 times in one day. I probably average 4 to 5 times a week. The reason why I exercised twice today is because this would probably be like my last opportunity to do one of her classes before the Thanksgiving break. Fran told me about this really tasty sesame oil, and we were able to get it with like a coupon, so like we didn't have to pay full price.
Next to rock like Mick Foley. It's Nick Joby, kill him softly, play that shit slowly. On the keys like Tony, throwing subs, they get toasted. About my bread like a hoagie. This beat ice cold, look how I ride this Zamboni. I feel like old Tiny, good anywhere you throw me. She eat a Chobani, cause her body getting bony. Late night, heavy scrolling, vape light, heavy smoking. We got our healthy habits, we've been already growing. It's like we drowning in them, it seems the levee's broken. But it's not too late to change them. And refrain from being slaves to the vices that encage them. I'm writing on this page like I'm throwing hands with Satan. Don't run from all those demons, gotta stand your ground and face them. Sometimes you break, but through destruction comes a renovation. We all just trying to build a foundation. We all just trying to build a foundation. We all just trying to build a foundation.